Hello everyone, back tuning into today's first video. Going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's first video. Day 10 will take us to around the 16th of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on to around a couple of weeks. And we're on the FSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That'll take us into the beginning of August, of course. Now I've got the USA forecast coming up for you later on today, so that will be early evening UK time. And next updates for the United States will be released later on today. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to say hello and thank you so much to our latest channel member. So thank you so much for becoming a channel member to Gareth Latham. Thank you so much, Gareth Latham, for becoming our latest channel members. We are now free list of channel members. So Gareth is the last one to shout out. We have still got a PayPal donor, though, to shout out tomorrow. But we're free with channel members for the time being. So thank you so much, Gareth Latham, and thank you so much to all of our channel members. It's absolutely amazing what you've done for GavsWeatherVids, so thank you so much to each and every one of you. Thank you to all of our patrons, all of our donors as well. It really is remarkable what you are doing for GavsWeatherVids. If you would like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is come to the GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, click the join button. The join button is also with all of the videos. It'll take you through to another page where you can sign up, see what benefits you get, and sign up on that page. So thank you so much to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm off the grind now. We reached 7k last week, but the subs are still going up. Actually, we are at bang on 7,030 subscribers. So put on another 30 over the past week. Thank you so much to all of our latest subscribers. And if you haven't subbed the channel, then please give us a sub, and that would be absolutely great if you can do that. We did a live stream yesterday. It's a very, very enjoyable live stream, so I hope you all managed to catch up with it. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning into the live stream. You can play that back if you didn't hear it live. It's on the YouTube channel and on the homepage at GavsWeatherVids.com, so you can have a listen back to that. Thank you to all of you for your best wishes and birthday wishes for Mrs. Partridge. It is Mrs. Partridge's birthday today, so thank you to all of you for saying happy birthday to my mum in yesterday's live stream. So thank you so much all about. I've made sure that all of those birthday wishes have been passed on to Mrs. Partridge. Right then, so Miss Partridge is having a very nice day as well, by the way. So yes, thank you so much all of you for those birthday wishes. Right, let's get on with it then. We're going to start off by having a look at the tropical Atlantic. So things are developing now. I said last week, I did a video I think for US, and I said we'll probably start to see things beginning to develop a little bit more, and indeed things are now starting to develop. So we've got 2 disturbance areas as well as a tropical storm. Let's deal with the disturbance areas first of all. So our first, this is from National Hurricane Center, of course, by the way. Our first disturbance area is down here, this yellow X just here. That is disturbance 2, and it has a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours and in the next 5 days. So I won't say too much about that. It doesn't look like that one is going to do too much at the moment, but of course it will need keeping an eye on, but only a 10% chance. Let's have a look at this next yellow X just here off the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. That one is disturbance 1. It has a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, but a 40% chance, a medium chance, in the next 5 days. So with this one, they're saying a small low-pressure system is located near the coast of the Florida Panhandle between Panama City and Apalacio. Probably pronounced that wrong. Apalachicola. If anyone knows how you pronounce that, do let me know in the comments. Anyway, we'll carry on. The associated thunderstorm activity is currently disorganised, and significant development appears unlikely as the low moves inland in the next several hours. The system is then expected to evolve into a larger low-pressure system and move northeastward, possibly emerging offshore of the Carolinas later in the week, where environmental conditions are expected to be more conducive for development. So it looks like this system is going to do something a little bit like that. It's going to move inland, go over the Carolinas, and then re-emerge off the coast of either South or North Carolina, somewhere around here. And as it hits the warm waters of the Atlantic, it might start to develop into something a little bit more significant. That'll be later on in the week, so that's one to watch. And then, of course, we've got this tropical storm just here. We've got Edouard. Tropical storm Edouard is up here, and currently giving maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour with a central pressure of 1,008 millibars, and moving quite quickly at 36 miles an hour northeast. If we click on Edouard, we can see what he's going to do. So at the moment, Tropical Storm Edouard is just there. And over the next couple of days, Edouard is going to move northeastwards, becoming a post-tropical storm by tomorrow. And then by 2 a.m. Wednesday as a post-tropical depression just there in the middle of the North Atlantic. Probably getting caught up in the jet stream and possibly as an area of low pressure heading in our direction. More about that in a moment. But yeah, it does look as though things are developing in the Atlantic now. We have reduced the amount of dust and whatnot that we're bringing out of Africa, I think. And so this might be the start of going into a slightly more active phase. We shall see. Okay, so these are how the latest temperatures are looking in the UK from XC Weather. It's a cool afternoon out there. Our maximum temperature as of 8 minutes past 12 is just 19 degrees down on the south coast. So that's pretty poor for early July. 19 at Hertsman's, 19 at Thorney Island, and 19 at Bournemouth. Going further northwards, we've got High Wycombe at only 14 degrees, London Heathrow at just 17, Cambridge at 17, Wittering at 16, East Midlands at 16, Cosford at 16. So again, sort of mid-teens really is the best of it. Gloucester at 17. Liscombe at just 13 in the southwest. Sennybridge at only 12. Sennybridge just 12 degrees in the middle of the day over there in mid Wales. Capel Currig is at 13. Rhyl is at 15. These are very, very bad temperatures for the time of year. Bingley into northern England is at just 13. Moving on to Reddersdale Camp, just 14 there. Drumalbin at just 13. Tulloch Bridge is at 12, up to Altby, 13 there, and Outhire at 13 down to Northern Ireland, only 13 there, and into the Republic, Girton is at just 14. So these are very poor temperatures for the time of year. We're bringing in northwesterly winds, and although wind isn't as strong as it was yesterday when it was really blowing a gale across the northern half of the country anyway, it's still pretty gusty, and just a cool, perhaps slightly autumnal feeling day out there again today. Not very good at all, I'm afraid. And so the sanctuary temperature has come down quite a bit. This is how the CT is currently looking provisional to yesterday, the 5th of July. We're standing at 15.8. That's only 0.2 of a degree above average. Bear in mind, for the first day of the month, it was actually quite significantly higher than average. So we are now more or less on our 61 to 1990 average. We're probably a bit below average for the 81 to 2010. And yeah, it's pretty cool, and that's probably going to tick down more over the next few days because it's going to continue to be pretty cool actually. So we might see this going into the low 15s by sort of the second half of this coming week. It's possible we will. Okay, so something's gone wrong there with the file. Let's see what's happening there. So I'm going to have to pause the video and get that back up, I think. Sorry about that. I'll pause the video and we'll get the chart back up from the Penn State University. So I'll see you very, very shortly. Okay, we're back, and these are the charts from the Penn State University. These are 500 millibar high dolly flow charts for the next 7 to 10 days from Penn State University, with the ECWF on the top and the GFS on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in absolute high pressure, low pressure. I've been moved around by jet stream running above. Red extrapolates high pressure, blue extrapolates to low pressure. But these are mean flow charts from a 7 to 10 day time frame, which will take us to the middle of July. So you can see that with the ECM, we're sort of bringing in a very slack, very slight westerly type flow. We're neither under high pressure or low pressure particularly. Just looks pretty slack there with the ECM in the 10-day time frame. The GFS has more of a ridge to our north, so the GFS has an area of high pressure to our north, some lower pressure is down to the southwest. So quite complicated patterns, but again, probably just trying to turn things a little bit more unsettled by day 10 from off the Atlantic, but still with a ridge up to the northeast. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at London today, so the red line is 30-year upper air temperature average. We're starting off below average at the moment. That's the reason temperatures are pretty disappointing. They're going to tick up a little bit towards the second half of the week and then drop away again at the end of the week and into weekend. Next week, though, we do have a definitive lift up in the upper air temperatures. The upper air temperatures are definitively lifting up through next week, actually becoming quite warm potentially for a time through next week before maybe sliding away again by the end of the ensemble. That's a very long way out though, of course, but it does look as though summer comes back sort of 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of July. Looks like summer is on the way back with the temperature lifting up and becoming a lot warmer then. Precipitation wise, plenty of dry weather coming up over the next week or so. There will be a few showery bursts around, not going to be continuously dry, but for the southeast, quite a bit of dry weather coming up. Maybe a few precipitation spikes into the second half of the month. It's associated with a lift up in temperature, so possibly hinting a little bit of thunder coming through then into the second half of the month, maybe. Temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of July continue to be below average, continue to be rather cool in the next week. We may start to see these warming up towards the end of this week. We might do, but for the moment, for the 6th to the 14th of July, it is cooler than average. Precipitation anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of July, warmer than average in the north, drier than average down in the south. This is how things are currently looking in terms of the upper level winds and jet stream from earthnullschool.net. So we're between low pressure areas today, really. We've got one area of low pressure that was with us through weekend, gave us all of those very strong winds moving up towards or into Scandinavia. Another low pressure is waiting in the Atlantic. That curve just there is Tropical Storm Edouard, by the way. That just there. Ahead of it, there is more low pressure in the Atlantic. And of course, we're bringing in these rather cool and slightly showery northwest winds. Not many showers around today, but certainly quite cool with quite a lot of cloud coming in with those northwesterly winds. So that is the current situation. Right, this is how UK Met is looking for Thursday. So on Thursday, we're bringing an area of low pressure in from off the Atlantic. That's bringing cloud and showery bursts of rain as well through the middle part of the week. Going into Friday, again, looking rather cool and showery. And then over the weekend, this ridge from the Azores high starts to move towards us. We begin to bring in this ridge from off the Atlantic. Gradually, slowly begin to settle things down and possibly warm things up a little bit, especially so down in the south. So up to day 10, which is 12, up to Sunday, I should say, 12th of July, the UK Met is building in this area of high pressure. Now, this is the GFS for tomorrow. So this is the latest GFS 6 o'clock one. So I think this is going to be Edouard just here. This area of low pressure just here is, I think, going to be Tropical Storm Edouard. By this point, it'll probably be post-tropical. So let's run through and see whether Edouard ever makes it into the country. Now, it's a little bit confusing. This is Wednesday. It's a little bit confusing. So we've got this area of low pressure just here, but may contain remains of Edouard. Conversely, though, it might be this area of low pressure just here. I'm not sure out of these two which one Edouard actually is, but I've got a feeling it'll be this one. But anyway, that is Edouard on Wednesday, moving into the west of Ireland. So if this area of low pressure is the remains of Edouard, then on Thursday we actually have the remains of Edouard coming in across the country, bringing quite a bit of rain. If it's this area of low pressure just here, though, then Edouard is still out in the middle of the Atlantic. But I'm going to feel in the remains of Edouard will be this area of low pressure just here. But anyway, we bring wet weather in across the country as we go through into from Wednesday into Thursday. That gets out of the way. Quite a significant area of low pressure as it moves into the North Sea as well, by the way, bringing quite a bit of rain and wind to Denmark. And turning winds into the northwest then, we start to get this ridge of high pressure building out in the Atlantic. And as we go into the weekend, yes, we have this high pressure beginning to take over. So by Sunday, 12th of July, similar to what the UK Met was showing, we are under an area of high pressure then, inflating the ridge and turning quite a bit drier and, you would have thought, warmer as well as we go through the weekend. And then into next week, the GFS has this ridge extending through the country, bringing plenty of dry and fine conditions through the first half of next week. Could get quite warm in the south. Temperatures may get into the mid-20s Celsius. And this ridge sticks around actually on the latest GFS run, right way up to day 10, which is Thursday the 16th of July. So by then the ridge is just to our east, and we're beginning to pull up some much warmer air from the south-southeast actually. It's starting to turn significantly warmer there. Probably temperatures rising into the upper 20s Celsius perhaps. So summer well and truly back in business with the 6Z GFS today for the middle of July. Now by Friday the 17th, we're hinting at a fungi breakdown. Low pressure then is blowing up out to west of Ireland, high pressure up to Scandinavia. Very warm to perhaps quite hot southerly southeasterly winds are drawing the air in from southern Europe, and with this low pressure out to west, that does perhaps hint at a fungi breakdown for Friday the 17th of July. Saturday the 18th, again high pressure to our northeast, low pressure to our west, still looking very warm, potentially volatile though, potentially thundery, but temperatures could be quite hot. As we come to the end of this GFS run, then the low pressure trough meanders in from off the Atlantic and we turn cooler and a lot more unsettled across the country again. But certainly summer comes back for a few days around the middle part of July with the 6Z GFS. That's how the GM is looking. So again, low pressure coming in across the country on Thursday. That's going to bring some showery bursts of rain with it. That gets out of the way on Friday into the weekend. We start to build up this ridge of high pressure from off the Atlantic. So high pressure begins to take over. It starts to drier and warmer as we go into the coming weekend. Early next week, mainly dry and quite warm too with the GM. But by middle of next week, high pressure begins to start to slip away to the southwest again. So it's not particularly unsettled, but it's starting to turn cooler from the northwest as early as Wednesday the 15th of July. But by the time you get through to day 10, which is Thursday the 16th, the high pressure actually begins to re-establish again. So the GM also suggesting quite an extended period of high pressure setting up next week, albeit not as warm up to day 10 anyway as what the GFS was showing. And the ECM looks like that. So again, rather unsettled for Thursday. We go through to Friday and Saturday. That low pressure clears away to the east. The ridge begins to push in from off the Atlantic. So by Sunday, 12th of July, we are under a ridge of high pressure turning drier and warmer with the ECM. Early next week, looking pretty dry and quite warm too. But then the ECM starts to break down the ridge pretty quickly, actually. So by day 10, Thursday the 16th of July, the ECM has us back under an unsettled sort of pattern with low pressure to our north and also to our west as well, transitioning something rather more unsettled by day 10 with the ECM. So how long the high pressure and the return of summer next week lasts for remains to be seen, but certainly for a few days next week. It looks like we're going to get some warmer and drier weather. This is the precipitation forecast, rainfall forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. Showery today, and then tomorrow we're bringing wet weather in from off the Atlantic. That sticks around into Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday as well. More showers or longer spells of rain. Into the weekend, we get rid of all that wet weather. We establish high pressure so it turns drier through the weekend and into early part of next week as well, away from Scotland anyway. But by day 10, we're beginning to bring rain back in from off the Atlantic, so we break down the ridge by day 10 with the ECM and turn things unsettled. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 16th of July. So have, from the Icelandic Met Office, I should say, have 25 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure centred over top of the country. That's bringing a lot of dry and fine weather up to day 10. 13 just here with low pressure re-emerging to our north and beginning to break down the ridge, start to turn a little bit more unsettled. 7 with high pressure pretty much over top of the country. That's going to be a very settled option too. And then just 6, which does include the operational run, that's what I've just been talking about, that breaks down the ridge by day 10 and turns things unsettled, re-establishes the westerly flow. But only 6 doing that, so it shows that the operational run today with the ECM was perhaps a little bit of an outlier, perhaps not all that well supported by the ECM ensembles. However, the 13 just here are probably going in the same direction too. So if we put the 6 there with the 13 there, the most unsettled options, and then we put the 25 here with the 7 there, I think the ECM ensembles probably favour high pressure to be dominating really around day 10 or up to day 10, but with a significant minority but a much more unsettled for day 10, and including the ECM operational run. I think that's about as much as we can say. In 2 weeks time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 21st of July. 16 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to our north, and we're bringing in winds from the east, so going to be a lot of dry and potentially warm weather with that. Winds coming in from the east could be really quite warm, of course, at this time of the year. 14 have high pressure just to our west-southwest. That's going to be a mainly dry option. Winds are in from the west. So not overly warm with that, but should be mainly dry, especially for England and Wales. 13 just here are much more unsettled, low pressure dominating over top of the UK. And then 8 with high pressure to our west, low pressure to our east. Quite a bit of dry weather and a little bit on the cool side with those. Then finally CFS-V2, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 6th to the 12th of July. The coming week we'll have high pressure to the southwest, low pressure to the northeast, winds are in from the west, so a little bit cool and most settled conditions up in the north. Week 2 has high pressure right over top of the country, it's 13th and 19th of July. Big ridge over top of the country, summer is back for the middle of July. Summer returns. Or the return of summer, perhaps. Go through to week 3, to the 20th to the 26th of July. The high pressure begins to pull out to the west. Still mainly dry, but starting to turn a little bit cooler as winds turn into the northwest, perhaps. And week 4 is the 27th of July to the 2nd of August. High pressure in just to our southwest, low pressure up to the north. Winds are in from a westerly direction. Looks like we begin to re-establish a more Atlantic type flow there. Probably turning a bit more unsettled and cooler. Temperature anomalies for week 1 from the 6th to the 12th of July are cooler than average for the UK and for Ireland too. But week 2 temperature anomalies from the 13th to the 19th of July are going warmer than average. Summer is returning there. Week 3 temperature anomalies is for 20th to 26th of July, cooler than average from the north, warmer than average down to the south. Week 4 temperature anomalies from the 27th of July to 2nd of August, hints get going a bit cooler than average again. Precipitation finally, week 1 precipitation from the 6th to the 12th of July near normal to perhaps a little bit unsettled in the north. Week 2 precipitation anomalies dry than average for all of us, 13th to the 19th of July. That's a drier than average week. Week 3 precipitation 20th, 26th of July near normal. Rainfall, and then week 4, 27th of July to 2nd of August. That one is also near normal for rainfall. So, yes, it looks like summer's coming back for the middle of July. For the time being, it is very cool, of course, very depressed temperatures, and going to be further spells of rain and showers too for the rest of this week. Over the weekend, high pressure re-establishes. Next week, that should take us into a spell of drier and warmer weather for the middle of July. How long the high pressure sticks around for is open to uncertainty at the moment. Some of this model output wants it to stick around for like 5, 6, 7 days. Other model output, as we just established, breaks it down after 2 or 3. So that's still to be determined, but certainly for a while next week, it does look as though summer will be coming back, and then possibly going a little bit more unsettled again into the second half of the month, maybe. Right, that's it for today's main video update. We'll be back later on with a video for the United States that'll be coming up early evening UK time, so come back for that then. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.